What is up, everybody? You're live with the Prodigy, and I couldn't wait to get home to discuss this. I haven't been excited to discuss a Friday topic in a nice little while, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been a while since I've been excited for a Friday topic because a lot of things generally don't come out until like Friday night. Well, I'm at work on a Friday night. We just don't have time to do it, man. And just a lot of things just haven't really interested me in a while where I actually want to cover something on a Friday night. But boy, am I excited to cover this. Happy Friday, everybody. Everybody having a great week. Happy post Memorial Day, Mother's Day for the people that are just coming back and I haven't caught you yet. Yeah, this is we're doing things, man. We on TikTok now. We took off like rockets. We up like 7,000%. Our analytics, man. Thank you for all the love that I've been getting from the TikTok family, which is an extension of my Twitter family and my YouTube family. You can find me on TikTok at It's TJ Time 1991, or you can type in TJ the Prodigy. I will pop up. As also, you can find me on Twitter. It's TJ Time 1991. Your best bet, honestly, will be to follow me on Twitter because that's what my central login for pretty much everything: YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, everything goes there. Boy, what a topic to discuss today, man. And as we catch everybody, and if you watch it later on tonight or whatever, sometime this weekend, I think you'll thoroughly enjoy this. So yeah, this is we're gonna cover what is a woman. Now, this is gonna be a couple things we're gonna cover. It's gonna be some of my opinion, some clips from the video if they don't flag the video, of course. Some reading from Internet Movie Database, maybe a little bit of reading from Twitter if I can find something interesting from Twitter. And what we'll be discussing today is what is a woman from the Mr. Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire. Most people know Daily Wire for Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro, two controversial figures. I respect anybody that's a thinker. I don't necessarily agree with everything they say. I don't think I have to agree with everything they say. Like, irrespective of race, color, culture, one thing all human beings have in common is we all have common sense. Like, we should have, at least we should have common sense. Like, we have similar feelings. Like, all kids feel like kids. You know what I mean? Like, they all, irrespective of, ironically, contrary to what people are going to say on what we're going to watch today, all children feel like children. Like, they don't feel like, and more specifically, they feel like the children that they were assigned to. You know, not all this, I don't even know what to call it. I guess confusion, for lack of a better term. And Omari, of course, I want to know your thoughts on this. If you even said anything about this, but from the clips, once you see me with the clips, you'll know um, what we're doing here. I just want to put up a thumbnail so people can see it here. But yeah, all are welcome. The TWRP crowd, you know, all the truthers, everybody on Twitter, online. Yeah, we're gonna get into this. But before I get to it, I just want to thank Matt Walsh for having the braveness and the temerity and the wit, the cojones to do this, because handling topics like this can end your career. And honestly, he's probably protected because he worked for Daily Wire and they're Republicans. There's some money behind them, and they're white. You know, not that it's a problem, but it is what it is. White people can get away with being a little more controversial. Specifically, white men can get away with. We already know that this is not being hateful or trying to produce hate or nothing. This is just the truth. White men are able to get away with way more being, you know, as I would say, bold or out front or frank, more so than women. White women. White women are a close second, but let me tell you this: what is a woman? So people can at least it'd be easier to find this on YouTube. And let's type in the Daily Wire. Excuse me. Daily Wire. What is a woman? Omari, did you see the doc? A woman, maybe movie. Then we're gonna put Daily Wire, and we're gonna get to it. I'm gonna get into plenty. I just gotta set this up. Yeah, we live in an interesting time to say the least, but I'm open minded enough to follow. What is a woman? Why am I typing this wrong? I'm sorry. What is a woman? Movie, maybe. I'll hashtag that. And then last but not least, we're going to hashtag the Daily Wire. Man, I'm wired right now because I scooted all the way home on an electric scooter, which was fun. I don't get to do that often, so that was a lot of fun. Daily Wire. Okay, let's get into this topic. So, like I said, shout out to Matt Walsh, all the resources and time that went into this. I'm sure it was a lot of work. He flew all over the country. He went to different other countries I applaud this brother, man. Go support this guy. Right now, they're showing the first 15 minutes free. DailyWire.com. Shout out to Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson. Now, like I said, I don't have to agree with everything they say to have a perspective. And I might cut the first 3 to 5 minutes of this out or middle of this and put it on my TikTok so people can see it. But I don't have to agree with everything they say. But one thing I will say this as a heterosexual, straight, relatively conservative by pure definition, not conservative as associated with the Republican Party of the United States. But as in, I'm pretty simple when it comes. I'm not a very overcomplex person. I don't believe in reinventing the wheel or none of that. That's not really my philosophy. I'm more of a if it ain't broke, don't fix it type person. And I know with some people, they take objection with when men like they don't like anything that's considered too masculine or too analytical or too left brain or too uh frank. They consider all of that old guard, that's old thinking, and that's a big overarching theme that we're going to discuss on this particular piece tonight. A lot of people take issue with anything that's considered forthright or masculine. And it's funny because this week I listened to a lot of old Kevin Samuels videos, and people know who Kevin Samuels is. He passed last spring. Very controversial guy, considered misogynist. He considered himself a image consultant and relationship, uh, pundit or whatever. He made a lot of good points. He said women are able to be clear about what they want and out front about what they object to as far as what they need in a man, but men can't do that in these times. And I had to kind of really meditate and think on that for a bit. And I'm like, he has a point. Never really thought about that because like a lot of times I always filter things to a black lens because black people get uniquely treated differently than other people. And I think at this point, like it's no debating that. Like people will try to debate it, but if you're being honest with yourself, you just can't, honestly. Um, yeah, you can't really like if you're being honest, you can't really deny this at this point. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people try to deny that, oh, what racism is over, blah, 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 gender issues. It's not. Like it's clearly what's going on right now. And that's why people have an objection against us sending aid, us as Americans sending aid to Ukraine. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. Let me tag some of my homies in this. People that I think that'll be interested in this. Boom. Gonna put them up in here. Tony. Who else? I think high pot thesis. Who else? Matt Gordon. OSJ. Had Josh. I would love to have Josh on here. Oh, old school Jason, because he has some strong opinions about this stuff. Who's all these other people that always like tag me and shit? I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I don't really know. Like, some of y'all tags, unless I talk to y'all like every day. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like, I don't remember some of y'all like tags. Y'all like tag me in shit, but I very seldom like remember a lot of times. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So let's do truly uncensored. Who else? Let's see. Voice of the People Radio, VOD. I forgot about Victor. My homie Fatal Charade. Fatal Charade. OG Fathead. That is a funny name. Like, I like the name OG Fathead. My homie James 22. Where's James at these days? Here's James. Crypto James. Pimp Daddy Jose. So let's dig a little deep now. Like, let's get into the specifics now that we have the code open. I tagged everybody. I tagged it on YouTube. Now we can kind of get into some of the specifics. Let's watch this. I'm praying that this don't get copyrighted. Only we'll find out in time. Let's put this up on Twitter. Shout out to Matt Walsh, man. Go check him out. Like I said, you get the first 15 minutes for free. I'm not going to show the whole thing on here out of respect, or at least not in full form. We'll play certain parts, take it down, play certain parts, take it down. So there'll be a lot of, keeping going, analyze, because I have to add my own commentary for this not to get flagged. Okay, so here we go. first question you asked was,
Daughter, on the other hand, founded by women.
Women. They are a complete mystery.
And now our culture is telling us that the differences between girls and boys don't matter. That if you identify as something, then you are that thing. How do we help our kids make sense of this when they're bombarded with conflicting messages about gender and identity? Forget trying to figure out women. The real question is, what is a woman?
As you grow, your body changes from that of a young girl to that of a woman. Soon, Molly will be a young woman, having dates, going to dances in lovely romantic dresses.
okay, let's stop that there and let's bring this down for a second. So the first very good question asked by, excuse me, Matt Walsh is, what is a woman? And of course, he went around the city at this point and asked a lot of different people this question and see if they were to answer it. Most of the answers were absolutely ridiculous. I'm not even gonna lie. Some, I would say, uh, traditional thinking Americans were like they were dumbfounded because they can't believe he was actually asking it. And some people, from what I've read, and of course they didn't watch the documentary. This is what I don't like about people. When you criticize or critique something, you don't even watch what you're critiquing or criticizing, or you don't even try to like find whatever it is. Like you go off what other people say. You go off groupthink. You go off, bias or closed-minded, whatever prejudice you have. Because all of us walk around with scripts in our head. Let's be honest. Everybody has a script about everybody in their head about what they think a person should be doing or what they aren't, and all this, like based off culture, the way they were raised, maybe things family members or parents told them. And it's something we definitely as a culture have to we have to adapt from, grow from, learn from. And I think these are things that we haven't been doing a good job as of late with this. But the first question he asked, very simple, because a lot of people thought he was coming off as condescending. Smart. No, he's just asking questions. Now, he might not be the most energetic or upbeat person. He comes off as a very old school, black and white, I'm just asking questions, journalist, reporter. That's kind of how he was. I think a lot of this have to do, we're in the age of a lot of people are just so used to just being entertained or shorter clips. It's hard for them to watch things in long form, or especially if they already have in their mind that, oh, I don't like this guy or whatever. Like if they made up their mind they disliked them before like the content even came out, whatever the author or creator, whatever piece, their persuasive piece, whatever the case may be, before it came out, they made up their minds that they already don't want to participate. So I don't think that's fair. And a lot of people do that. That's just the times we live in a very extreme overreaction kind of time period. So the verse is a very logical question. By the way, welcome to episode number 3 of Inappropriate Behavior. That's the name of my podcast. We have this, mansplaining, and usual the other important things, whatever we do. General podcast. I already told y'all, like I'm like the Black Joe Rogan, except I am a lot more less fake. No, not the personal Joe, but you come off, you play both sides of the fence, brother. You know that. You know what I mean? But in theory, I like to cover a broad range of topics. That's what I mean by I'm the modern day Joe Rogan. So even though they might try to block this, or a lot of people might see it, I'm gonna get it out there so people can see it. But Matt Walsh asked a very logical question. He said, "What is a woman?" He asked it completely open-ended, completely from the perspective of this is a conversation. This is not me being patronizing. I'm not talking at you or down to you. This is just let's get the conversation. Because I honestly think he wants to understand. Like obviously, like he's pretty firm in his beliefs that he think this is crazy. He's a Christian, where to the point where a lot of this is foreign to him. Like it goes against his ideology. It goes against his his doctrine or his way of living. Now, some people say, oh, he's a white guy. Some people say, oh, he might be racist, even though this is not specifically, dealing with racism. But it's a lot of different angles you can come at a guy like him that's doing a piece like this from. But all I think people need to be a lot more open-minded. So he asked, what is a woman? And then he showed, I think he was trying to show over time the evolution of different generations of what they conceive social issues and what they perceive as women, which you have to go back. Because a lot of people go, oh, this is just modern, whatever, fascism, or what, modern male, whatever term they want to come up with, pronoun, misgendering people, modern. This is a modern school of thought. That's like the hill that a lot of the detractors were willing to die on. Like they already had in their mind that's what they want to do. Like they was gonna try to, make this guy look dumb. Like that was their goal, And I don't think they really did a good job at it, because a lot of these people that are putting out this hate speech are, they didn't even watch it. Like, I can dislike something, but it's not fair if at least you don't watch it. You know what I mean? Now I can watch something like, okay, I didn't like it. Okay, now at least I watched it though, and I'll give you a reason A, Y, and Z why I can watch it. Like, people that know me by now should know, or even if you don't know me, you should know that I'm able to discuss a wide litany of topics. Like, I did that on TikTok. Like, that's why I already got over. I got damn near. I'm working on 15,000 views in my first month. I'm already at 15, which is a lot. People don't. That's not. I'm not a celebrity. That is a lot for a non-celebrity. Multiply that by 12. Think about how many views I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have a hell of like what 150,000 views or something like that. If I did it at this steady rate and it just went slow like that, but obviously, my goal is to exponentially grow every single day, which I do. I go up an extra. One day it'll be 300 the first time, then on the next clip it'll be 350, or it's going up. Like, we're constantly making progress, and that's because I keep an open mind. I give the people what they want. I have a la carte style posting while I try to reach as many people, and I'm just generally, excuse me, interested in a lot of different things, and I think a lot of people respect that. Like, I know in a very fast moving world what a lot of people want to see. So he opened up with that very basic question. I felt that was logical, and a lot of people back in the day, and I get the part of the argument where, oh, we need to update this. Women don't just wear skirts, so women are just secretaries or just teachers or in the social sector. Like, it's a lot more advancement. But these people aren't going to buy it the right way. The LGBT constituents of the community, they're not going about it the right way. Like, they're trying to get, like, they can't, they call themselves PhDs or professionals in this field or whatever, but they can't answer simple questions. Like, that makes you look crazy. Like, how in the world can't you answer something about, for example, he interviewed, I think, like a doctor or some shit that was working for Planned Parenthood, a woman. Well, she looked like a woman, at least. That I think she was a woman. I'm gonna call her a woman. She's like a woman. You look like a woman. You talk like I'm calling you a woman. You can call yourself whatever, this or that. Just, if you got to ask me a question in public, please write it on paper, because I don't want to be confused. My day is already busy a lot. I deal with people. I'm a public safety officer, so I'm always tired. I just don't have the energy to put towards like stuff I don't really like take that serious or don't care about. Like, I take you serious, your ability to live seriously, but like all this hair splitting and filibustering, and technically I meant, like, no, I don't have time for that shit, dude. So, or lady, whatever you identify as. But he asked the doctor in here, and I thought it was crazy, because, or strange, or peculiar, or just flat out wrong. He asked her, Matt Walsh. He asked the lady, her name is Fontaine, Dr. Fontaine, Fontier, or some shit like that. He asked her, at what age do a child start feeling like they're the gender that they want to be? And she said infant. Like, let's be serious. From a hormonal standpoint, from a, most importantly, a brain development standpoint, you know damn well an infant is not, they don't even know how to tell you that they're hungry. How in the world are they going to be able to think of something complex like, oh, well, I'm thinking about, like, what is life really? What is sex really? What's the boundary? Like, come, darn well these people are not thinking that stuff. But let me find another good part, because I don't want it to. We're not gonna watch every little bit of this. We only gonna watch. Okay. Okay. So now the next part he was talking about, he had this lady up with the kind of the short hair. I'm just gonna put it as a freeze frame. I'm not gonna play it. Just out of respect, I'm not gonna play every little thing, just certain parts. So out of respect for Matt Walsh, like I said, you get the first 15 minutes if you just go to Daily Wire. They literally give it to you free, because I watched it earlier. First 15 minutes to go to dailywire.com and click on What is a Woman. You get the first, it's like a big play button right there. You get the first 15 minutes. So this lady was talking to, I forgot her name. She was like a gender theorist or some shit like that. And he asked her, like, do you think it's what do you know what a woman is? Like, based off what characteristics make somebody a woman? And she was saying a lot of theoretical stuff about, if you feel like you're a woman, no matter your appearance, you are a woman. So, like, a lot of people took issue with how he was staring and all of that. Oh, he looked like he couldn't give any less of a fuck. That's what a lot of people were saying. But I think they're overthinking. Maybe, like I said, it's pretty safe to assume that this guy is probably just not a very high energy person. He's probably just very logical, very left brain. I haven't watched none of them to really. Maybe people watch a little more, and they can confirm that he's kind of smug. I don't know. I only know a little bit about this guy, so I can't really. Dude, Jamie Foxx is trending like every day. Hopefully, this guy's okay. Um, let's see what's trending in the news. Then we'll get to entertainment. Okay. So because I'm trying to connect to what we're watching. Little Brandon's business. Virginia is trending. I gotta find out why in a minute. Delaware. Let's go to entertainment. Dark Knight. Tom Cruise. So yeah, like people. I think a lot of people were misreading what Mr. Walsh was saying based off his facial expressions. But I honestly think he was trying to be as open-minded and rational as possible. Of course, people are going to come up with whatever theories they want to. Because like I said, we all have scripts in our head about people. Like we already have things that we may not like about somebody or about, a particular uh ideology or program. Like we already have that in our head based off uh a lot of preconceived stereotypes and culture bias and a lot of these things. We already had these scripts in our head. So no matter how he would have explained it, like some people just wouldn't have got it either way. So yeah, I honestly think he knew what he wanted to do, and like even with the transgender community, like I support people's different philosophies and different views on things. I don't agree with you. I don't agree with what you're saying necessarily all the time, but I agree with your right to create art, or I can see your perspective for what it is. Everybody, it's all a perspective. That don't make it right. That don't make it wrong. It's just a perspective. Well, it makes it wrong. When it comes to kids and all that stuff. All colors are beautiful. Oh, okay, interesting. This is NYPD what's this word I'm looking for? They have a squad car with the, I guess, because they're getting ready for Pride Month. Pride Month already started this joke. All colors are beautiful. Tag these. Yep. Let's see. All colors are beautiful. Yes, that's what the tag was. All colors are beautiful. BAUTI. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. We're still here. So yeah, like it don't matter how you really explain so many things. Like people are gonna have scripts in their head about what they like and what they don't like about it, or more specifically, like they're not gonna listen no matter how you explain it to them. Like it's just not really. If people want to be closed-minded, they would. They're going to be closed-minded, and it's no point of kicking and scratching, and it just is what it is. You know what I mean? Like you can't really turn people. It's just certain people you're not going to be able to flip because it's not in their nature to listen. Before a person can learn, or let's take therapy, which some people argue that either the people that are talking about this gender euphoria or dysphoria, however you say it, they may need it, or the people that don't understand their perspective might need it. So I hope I'm not too loud, but yeah, therapy for a person, any good therapist knows that in order for someone to heal of whatever they're going through, for a person to heal, at first you have to admit that something's wrong. Some people can go to therapy for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years and won't get better because they're blocking the advice from their profession. From the professional that's advising them, or that's what's the word I'm looking for? That is counseling, I guess, will be a more appropriate term. They don't take appropriate counsel from their doctors, from their psychiatrists, whatever, psychologists, whatever the case may be. They don't take. You have to be willing to receive information if you're trying to grow. Like, of course, it has to be from someone credible and someone that you trust, but you have to be willing to accept the information. And I feel like that's where we're stuck at with this issue. A lot of people folding their arms. I'm all for it. Like I said, I totally disagree with it's more than two genders. I totally disagree with children should be talking about sex before the age of, I think, like 13 or 14. I think that's anything before that is a little too early. Even about STDs or it's definitely about changing sex. That is extreme. That's not something they should touch until about 16, 17. If that's something they want to decide they want to do, at least wait till they get out of high school. That's what I would say. But yeah, they shouldn't before 12 and all. Like, this is crazy with all these athletes and celebrities and just everyday people allowing their children to like butcher themselves and like later on, like it could be psychological thing. Like it's a lot of health stuff that go with this. And kids are going through a lot of emotions. Like we undermine way too much. And then there's a lot of information about like puberty blockers, and it's crazy, man. It's a lot of this stuff is just people are, I think, and they're saying we're putting out false information by not being just openly willing to accept. They want us to accept it without showing us enough facts of why we should, or how, because I'm completely with science can evolve over time, but they don't have any concrete evidence that this is what happened. You know, like they just want you to believe. It's almost like how I say white supremacy. Their whole thing is I'm white because I'm right because I'm white and I say so. They don't want you to challenge them. I'm white. I'm right because I say so. Like a lot of this LGBT community, they're kind of becoming that way. Like I feel like they're becoming new oppressors. Like I hate to be that extreme, but that's from my perspective. That's what it feels like. It feels like that's what this community is doing. I'm trying to stop saying these people so much. That's what this constituents in this community, that's what they're doing. Like they want you to believe them, but they don't want to prove or give you sufficient evidence of why this is an okay lifestyle that you should consider accepting, or why other people in your family should want to live this way the rest of their life this way, to cut off whatever they were born with or tuck it, whatever the case may be. This is where we are. That's why we're at a stalemate. That's why it's a grid, like we're at a standstill, because it's too many people not thoroughly explaining stuff to people that already got a million things to think about, and they don't have enough time to research all these terms and all these pronouns. It's just, this is another job for some people, and people like, I'm not getting paid for this. Nor, well, why should I care? Like it's not even about like the LGBT community want to always make, oh, you don't want to listen to us, or this is you're being closed-minded, or you're a dinosaur. It's not about that. It's just people we live in a stressful time economically. You know what I mean? Some people are just already got their own shit going on, or goals they've been working on forever that things can get in the way and slowing them down. It's just they have too much on their plate. They can't slow down. So that's like, for example, as a content creator, if I'm a content creator, which I am, it's TJ Time 1991 on Twitter, which gives you access to my YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, all that good stuff. When you're a content creator, like I am, and like you should be, your job is to make the content accessible to the viewer. If they don't know where you are, how are they going to keep up with you? You think people would keep up with the Kardashians if they didn't have a consistent viewing schedule or consistent posting or whatever, putting their brand out there? It's your job to put it out there. And I feel like that's what the LGBT community should be doing. You're supposed to be making it easier and more accessible for me to find you, not the other way around. What's up, Victor? My big homie. Victor, it's just me here right now. Nobody else is here. It's just me. You have to make this shit accessible. Like, that's another reason people that what y'all consider, oh, they're not listening to me. Like, bro, like, what is, like, I don't have time to keep up with all this shit. It's a new pronoun. It's another term or adjective or ever misgendering. And it's so much gender misfor, whatever the fuck this shit is. I don't even know how. I can't remember most of the shit, to be honest with you. Let's play a little more of this video because I just want to get perspective. But like this, I'll just let you hear.
There are certain imperatives that are placed on us about who we are and what we do based on how we've been gendered. From the minute I was assigned female, I was told, okay, these are the kind of clothing that you're going to wear. These are the type of play that you're going to engage in as a child, the path that maybe your life will take because of social expectation.
What do you mean by assigned female? Who assigns female?
Yeah, so most times people, when they're born, they're assigned a gender
by
the doctor.
doctors.
Yeah.
Like, what do they base that assignment on?
So basically, it's based on genitalia. So people looking at genitalia and deciding, okay, this is a girl or a boy. And we know now that that sex and gender are so much more than just this binary. Some women have penises, right? Some men have vaginas. That's not how gender works.
How do we know that? How do we know that that's not true? Where did we learn that from?
Yeah, well, I learned that from hearing from transgender people who've said,
okay,
like, oh,
let's
I'm
stop
a
there.
trans woman.
So she was saying that some women have penises, some women call themselves men. And she said, since I was misgendered, or since I was assigned a gender, and of course Matt asked her, who were you assigned a gender by? And she said about a doctor. Okay, so this is why I have an issue with this community, with this constituents. This is where I take issue with this. It's hard to talk to people without proof. it's hard to get somebody to understand you when you got all this vague, theoretical, conceptual shit about stuff. Like he asked her a direct question: Who assigned you? Who do you feel assigned you a gender? He put the question out there, open ended. It wasn't like he kind of was like he didn't answer the question for her. He didn't say you are a woman. You were given to the doctor. You came out of your mom, and the doctor said it's a girl. He didn't say that. He asked a question that was clear. Who do you feel misgendered you? Who assigned you this? And this is where a lot of people, including me, take issue with this constituents in this community. You have to be clear about what you're saying. Once again, it's information overload. People have lives. It's too much stuff going on. I feel like I'm being a lot more reasonable than a lot of my friends, than a lot of people will be with this Jason, creative face. Jason wouldn't be as open-minded. And I love Jason. I wouldn't say anything I wouldn't say to his face right now. But he know, like, Jason's not gonna, he's not even gonna consider doing what I'm doing right now. Like, he would have been on here talking, these people are crazy. Y'all know how Jason is. Some of that stuff not even that serious. Jason West, not old school Jason, my new Jason. Oh, it's traditional first Jason. So Shabazz Jenkins, creative face. But yeah, he wouldn't consider a lot of what I'm like. This will be a open and close. Jason, a very proud Christian. Like, he's very clear. He don't agree with the lifestyle. He's not going to entertain it. Community. If y'all want to get people like Jason to see y'all point, y'all have to, which y'all, he probably won't. Y'all have to logically explain to him why people should scientifically believe that it's more than two genders. I give you three, because some people, like, we know it's people with hermaphrodites. The other organ that they're not technically is probably dead, and it's probably just more of a deformity than anything, and it needs to be surgically removed. I think Sierra had it, and also, which that might have been a rumor, and Jamie Lee Curtis. I think Jamie Lee Curtis was born hermaphrodite, but the other organ is dead, basically. Like, I don't think it's an active organ, like the other sexual organ. So, yeah, like, I don't think this lady realized, like, I swear to God, the whole time she was talking to him, I thought she was bullshitting and making this up. And the other lady that comes later is even more hilarious. Now, this is what I have to give this community credit for, the LGBT plus community. I have to give them credit that they're so calm, even when somebody is basically talking to them like, you are insane. They're calm, they're professional, they use good diction, they're very tactful. You have to give them credit for that. I'm not gonna lie. Like they're very smart. Like, it's not much emotion when it comes to the people that represent them. They for the most part, from things I've seen, clips, popular clips, maybe some stuff I haven't seen. It's very possible. I'm not everywhere at once, and I have a life. I'm not always looking for this stuff. It's very possible that these people from this community could have had bad apples. However, for the most part, they represent their community well. And, like, a lot of them are very giving. Like, if they're out at, like, a function or they're giving out food, they represent pretty well. I've been around LGBT people. They make you feel like you're an actual guest. My issue is your lifestyle is not something I want to always have in front of my face all the time. Like, I don't want to have to always be corrected. I don't like pedantic people. Like, that's an annoyance to me. Like, when I'm corrected for trivial, like, things. Oh, you call me a ma'am, even though I want to be called a sir. That's pedantic to me. That annoys me. Like, that, I don't like stuff like that. But they're very accommodating. But I just don't agree with their lifestyle. And this is something that a lot of them just can't get past. Like, I'm a good person. It is nobody, because I'm a public safety officer. My job is to protect people around me in the interest of people around me at work. I do this every single day. I am a very, very open-minded person. Very open-minded. But there's certain things that I consider an inconvenience. Pedantic people, like, if you want to be if you want to transform into whatever the sex that you feel like you should be, can you at least make it easy for me to identify that? Like, let's say you're going from a male to a female. Well, what we consider by traditional definition, a traditional male from birth is transitioning to a what people consider a traditional female. Can you at least appear to be female? Because there's people that got what I consider the premium package. Laverne Cox. It's a few others. Like, I can't think of them off the top of my head. Giselle Shaw from Impact Wrestling, the wrestling company TNA Impact Wrestling. I feel like she went for a more premium package. It looks like a woman. It is others. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. It's people. Now, Caitlyn Jenner, they go for somebody that Brett Shapiro had on. I can't think of the individual's name right now, but they did not look like a woman. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like they look like Mrs. Doubtfire. Like you have to be willing to look like what you want me to call you. Like it's unreasonable. I take that from Jason, Sebastian Jenkins. That is unreasonable. I love when he says that. It's so funny. That's one of my favorite sound bites he said. Yeah, like you have to be very considerate and aware. Like that's like people in like what I consider like a niche type culture. Let's say you was into Dungeons and Dragons. I'm turning my studio light on for a second because it's affecting my background image. Let's say you are an individual that's into Dungeons and Dragons, right? Dungeons and Dragons, like I would consider a lot of those people quite intelligent, like tabletop board game players. Anybody that play any type of online games, they're probably quite intelligent for that niche. Poker players, I play poker, blackjack. Those are very intelligent people. But it's an annoyance when a person outside of that particular niche or community asks a question and you like talk so over their head about it, or you're being kind of like patronizing. That's gonna make people dislike you more. Like, what a way to fail. And I'm looking straight at the camera now. What a way to fail as trying to get someone to see your perspective or come over to your side because you just poorly explain. Like you didn't make the colloquialism. Yes, I know some big words. It's not. You have to put it in layman's term where a person that's outside of that community can understand and digest whatever it is you're trying to get them to understand about your interest or your hobby. You have to be like, that's the issue. That is the blockage that we have right now with non-believers of LGBT versus people from that community. This is why people don't get this. That's why they're so kind of like just kind of dismissive, because it's like they don't make it easy for you to I was already kind of lost with the pronoun. That was one thing. The she, it, that, like that. Okay, I learned some of that in school, in grammar class. Like, okay, pronouns. And I wasn't that interested in learning it back then. Like, I always have a joke. The only place I'm interested in seeing a comment is on my paycheck. I don't care about, I was never good at English and grammar class. I was reading, science, math, shit like that. I was never good at anything with English and grammar. That was not my thing. So I got to relearn all this stuff that I didn't even like to learn when I was in high school. So, like, the pronouns is one thing that you can digest that a bit. It's not too complex. But when you start coming up in there with these new terms and homonyms, you misgendered me, and like, okay, this is where it even got worse when they start talking about it's more than two genders. Like I said, I would give you three. Maybe I will be willing to entertain maybe the hermaphrodite thing. But anything beyond that is like, yeah, okay, I'm not with this. So that's kind of where I'm at. This is where a lot of people feel like they're at. It's just like, y'all need to do a better job at explaining this. Let's push forward.
Because I happen to have a penis, right? That doesn't mean that this is like who I am as a person, or that genitalia doesn't equal gender. Who they are, their gender expression. That, yeah, a trans woman is a woman.
With the fluidity of these things, how do I know if I'm a woman? You know,
That's a great question.
I like scented candles. And
yeah.
I've watched Sex and the City.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how do I know?
Yeah, Matt, that question right there, like that question is like when it's asked with a lot of curiosity, right? That's the beginning of a lot of people's like gender identity development journeys.
If my mom who gave birth to me is a woman, and my wife is a woman, though I haven't asked her, maybe I should. But if they're all women, and also the boy who sits down with you and says, I think I'm a girl, actually is one, then what is a woman?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Great question. I'm not
They went over, wait.
a woman, so I can't really answer that.
Okay, so she says she's not a woman, which to me, she appears to what I would consider, well, she's actually cute, what I would consider a woman. So that's one thing. And when I was saying it's hard for me not to laugh, it's because it comes off, it's almost like it's satire. Like, it's like, you can't be serious, right? Like, let's be factual for a minute. She said genitalia does not determine a specific gender, which to me that sounds quite insane. Like we're literally like we're asking the meaning of meaning. This is the analogy I always give. It's like that smart person in class that you want to smack them in the head because they won't shut up asking questions. You just want them to move on. You probably don't like the class to begin with, and then like they're making it worse by dragging a already nerdy teacher that's talking that's probably boring about a topic that you just like. I wish I wasn't even in here. It's like that person where they're just like, well, you know what I mean? Like they could be smarter than the teacher, but like, dude, shut up. It's not the time for it right now. It's kind of like one of those things. And when she said she wasn't one, that's what Jason probably would have flipped the table over. My friend Shabazz Jenkins, he would have flipped the damn table. Like, come on now, some of this stuff, these people crazy. He would have got up and left. Took his mic off. Oh, you would have heard the computer fall. You would have heard it fall over. You would have been pissed. Yeah, this is kind of like the times we're living in now, man. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So let's watch a little bit of him with this. I thought a lot of this was funny. Like some people are going to be offended by him just doing. They look at, oh, you're making fun of like this is. You're going to have those people. You might as well just give.
I thought therapy would make me less confused. Am I the only one feeling this way? I need to hit the road and find out. We're talking about gender in society. Let me start with a real basic question. What is a woman?
Woman.
I don't want to assume, but you guys are all women?
Yes, we're women.
So how would you define it, like in the simplest terms?
That is hard. Yeah, it is. It is a stumper.
A woman is someone that likes to be pretty and think of themselves as a delicate creature.
I'm pretty indelicate.
Okay.
I could be a woman too.
Yes, you could.
Defining womanhood is just a project of someone who identifies as a woman.
Yeah, but what do they identify? You see what I'm saying? What do they identify as? They identify as a woman, but what is that?
I honestly don't know.
It's a simple question.
Victor, what do you think it is? Omari, who's here?
So why is it so hard to answer? This is going to take some serious investigation.
I love how he said this is going to take some serious investigation. What's up, chat? Who's here? Live to Prodigy, man. We're covering everything. This is episode 3 of Inappropriate Behavior Podcast number 3. We are covering what is really a woman from the great people from Daily Wire. Well, irrespective of what you think of them, I respect and always support individual artistic expression through it, be it a play, a movie, literature, whatever the case may be. Like you have the right. I love discussing that. I know people think, oh, you're this bigot, you know it all, closed-minded asshole, blah blah blah. You're a dick, bro. I'm one of the most open-minded. Why do you think I'm a podcaster? I love talk. Like I was literally fiending all day to get home so I could talk about this. I couldn't work. I was like, bro, work couldn't. Like I'm just done with work. Like I would listen to podcasts leading up to think shit I think about. Like I was listening to Kevin Samuels talk about this type of stuff somewhat. But when it comes to he passed tense. He used to talk about this as it relates to relationship, and women have unrealistic expectations from relationships. Like this is just more of a, I like people who are critical thinkers. Like that's in my bio on my Twitter. And some of these smug assholes on Twitter, oh, you're not a critical thinker. You're not one because you're swallow what you're told. Maybe swallow is not the appropriate term in this context, but y'all get what I'm saying. Like you swallow whatever you're told. Like I don't respect people that just go off like, I hate like corporations or those people, those managers at jobs that, well, that's the way it is. So like when you go with them to agree, let's say they're an HR representative and you go to them with a grievance and they say, well, that's just policy. Motherfucker, I was coming to you for you to make me feel better at the very least. If you're not going to get nothing done, like don't. It's just like, I can't stand people that's like that. Like they're happy to just be there. Like you're not a critical thinker. Why should I respect you just because you're a manager? You clearly don't push against the system that, oppress people. Like, I'm not going to respect you. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how, like, I think of those people. But getting back on topic, I like how Matt was really I felt like he put a lot of, time into this. And he was open-minded enough to look at this from a lot of different angles. We're not going to watch this whole movie. Like, shout this brother out, man. This is a link that some people share. Go support. Like, you get the first 15 minutes for free. Like that's why I'm not gonna show it here out of respect to them. Maybe down the line we'll revisit it. Where we can show it. I got to get their permission. I got to give them permission. I want to make sure. I should have put them on. I'm gonna redo this thumbnail and put Daily Wire on. Shout out to Daily Wire. Like you can like them, dislike them. Like they do good shit. Like from my perspective, I like that they're willing to ask questions. So us as a community can come to, or as a country, we can come to a solution to make everybody happy. Even if it's just okay, y'all can be over there. Y'all had this piece or whatever. What makes y'all happy? We're gonna be over here. The non-believers versus believers. Like it, as long as it's a productive, peaceful solution. Like a lot of people think they come over here to rock the boat or they trying to be insulting. I don't get that from them at all. I think they're just people that are generally inquisitive, that's curious, that's interested in this type of deep thinking stuff. Maybe this is over some people's head. I understand the people that might not even care about this. I totally understand. Like, but I'm the opposite. I'm interested in this. So, like, I'm not gonna like. I don't take a lot of this stuff as gospel. Like, I don't worry about this beyond, when I'm thinking about it and that conversation with that person. And we come like, okay, I understand your perspective. I can move on from that point. I'm gonna live and let will it. Even if I don't agree with you, at that point, it's just live and let live. That's kind of where I'll be at with it. Like, I don't really take a lot of this personal like that. Or even if people think, oh, you're dumb, you're stupid. Like, I encourage on my TikTok or on my Twitter, it's TJ Time 1991 on both. That's all lowercase letters. It's ITS TJ lowercase Time 1991. Like, I encourage people disagreeing with me. That's why I'm having a good time with the talk. Because a lot of people on TikTok are like, they try to say crazy and they think they're going to rile me up, and it doesn't. Like, I appreciate your opinion. A lot of times I go into the thing, I appreciate your comment. Or I ask a question and try to continue the conversation. A lot of them don't continue because I honestly think a lot of times they either don't have an answer and they only answer was insulting you, or B, they think they're going to lose, so they just bow out while it's early. You know what I mean? Now, a lot of times, but you will see on a lot of my posts on TikTok, it's TJ Time 1991, you will see that I've had conversations with people. Like, they respond to me hostile, and my response being, okay, why you think that? I'm trying to get their perspective. Now, certain stuff I'm not gonna will spin all day with. Certain stuff with me is very black and white. Like, if you're trying to say, oh, for example, let's go with women are stronger than men. That's a dead ass lie. We already know it's enough biological evidence. We've said, even if you never went to school, you could have dropped out, or you didn't have the privilege to be educated because you came from an oppressive ass country or town that for whatever reason that's illegal. You see with your eyes on television or probably in your town where a woman tried to fight a man and it didn't end well. Now, is it chances or situations where a woman can beat up a man? Of course it is. It happens all the time. From a biological and scientific standpoint, men are stronger than women. Like, that's a black and white argument. That's the end of it. Like, you try to keep going with that, I'm just going to laugh and walk off. Like, I refuse to entertain that conversation. Like, that's dumb to me. But yeah, let's continue this.
For all of human existence, women were understood to be a certain thing. So what changed? No one can seem to answer the question now. Over 2,000 surgeries and counting, Dr. Marcy Bowers is the nation's preeminent sex change surgeon. Surely someone who does sex change surgeries can answer what a woman is.
Like, I respect the man who's everywhere to do this. He tried to get every perspective from every angle.
Dr. Marcy Bowers, first of all, thanks for talking to us.
My pleasure.
So you're a world-renowned gynecologist and surgeon. You're also a transgender woman. Can you tell me a little bit about...
Well, I mean, I identify as a woman, but...
You're a woman, right?
I'm a woman that's my life, day to day, but I have a transgender history.
So one thing on your website, it says gender-affirmed, GAV, gender-affirming vaginoplasty. What is that exactly?
A vaginoplasty is creation of female, a female vagina and vulva. We're altering the physical characteristics of the individual to fit better with a gender identity that is female.
This is all constructed from the penis?
Yes, that's right. The surgeries are quite refined in the sense that they really, not only do they look like female anatomy, but they also function that way. For the most part. I mean, certainly it's a bit of a Faustian bargain. You know, it's not perfect.
Does anyone ever regret their surgeries? Or, well, we know they do, but how often do people regret their surgeries?
Well, actually, we don't know that they do. There are legitimate detransitioners, and there are people who truly feel that in their journey, they may have made a mistake. Now, fortunately, this is a really, really uncommon phenomenon.
I don't know if you've ever heard of people in the trans-abled community. These are people who are physically able-bodied but feel like they should be disabled or identify as such. For example, a man who has 2 arms but feels like he should have 1. If a man in this kind of marginalized community went to the doctor and said, "I want to have,"
Okay, so I felt like this particular individual, Marcy, the doctor that's involved with the transformative sex, like she was able to hold her own when he was talking about, well, I think she said the next follow-up thing they were saying. She was saying that I don't support people just, disfiguring themselves or getting something out of that, but she couldn't quite correlate. I feel like she had him on a rope with that one. Like it was interesting to talk about, but I feel like he went a bit off topic with that part. But to go back to the I think this doctor was once a man and transitioned to a woman. I think that's what it was. But she said early in the conversation, like, you're a trans woman. She said, I feel like a woman. Once again, too much complexity. It's like you have to be as clear as possible with people where you're dealing with stuff like this, like with a topic they already don't really want to talk about, or something that's already complex enough to comprehend. Like you have to be very aware and self-aware with stuff like this. And I don't think the people from this particular community consider that enough. Like they don't really they don't always like fully think out how they gonna respond if somebody gonna answer them. Like they don't play chess well. Like, okay, I move here, what's your counter move? Like I don't think they fully consider that. And then at that point, their only response is to be upset. Like that's usually where it goes. Like, but that's not a very like you're not gonna win good debates against people that do that well. Like you're you know what I mean? Like you're really not, don't expect to be successful. And it's gonna be people that can trap you in corners. Dame Dash is good at this. In certain situations, Jordan Peterson is good at this. In certain situations, Kevin Samuels is good at this. I'm quite good at it. People from my community are quite good at it. Surprisingly, Omari is really good at it. He's 18, going on 19. He's very good at like very rational arguments back and forth. Like he's good at, debating and, move, counter move. And it probably because I wrestled, which helps with this, because wrestling is all about you better have a counter move for every move somebody does. It's constant moving. That's why wrestling, you have to be in tippity top shape, or one mistake you're gonna lose. Like you almost got to be like a lunatic to be a wrestler, because it's such a like it's such a manic like workout regime. Like it's mentally taxing. Like you have to be so good at it. That's why people like Kurt Angle is insane, but he was able to do it. So yeah, like this was a quite an interesting, but I don't agree with it obviously, but I thought this from a pure keeping score debating standpoint, I thought that this particular individual, this doctor, was able to kind of respond to a lot of his questions well.
My arm cut off. Do you think that
doesn't have anything to do with gender identity?
Well, it's someone's. But what is a woman?
A woman is it's a combination of your physical attributes and then what you're showing to the world and the gender clues that you give. And hopefully those match your gender identity.
The critics on the other side of this, of this issue.
There aren't many, but go ahead.
There aren't many who would disagree with what you're saying about.
Well, the dinosaurs of the world are certainly out there. Yeah.
Okay. That's where she came off a bit weird. Aberdeen, Washington. That's where I felt like she kind of lost. She had it for a minute, then she dropped it. Well, because darn well, it's a lot of people that totally disagree with all this transgender and the technicalities and what makes a woman. Like most people, when you say what's a woman, outside of the people that belong to this very marginalized specific, these people are less than 10% of the world's population. I think technically it's 7, which is like what, 7 million people or something. That's not a lot of people. 700 million, something like. It's not, either way, it's not. It's 7 billion people. That is not a lot of people. That is not, you like, that's like, a couple large, barely one. You could fit most of those people probably in Africa. Like that's not a lot of people. So she lost and dropped the ball clearly in that particular situation. And in addition, like you call people dinosaurs, like with the LGBT community, like you can't be saying, "Oh, let's not call names, let's not resort to, low blowing each other," and then y'all go out and call people dinosaurs. Well, you got to expect to be called crazy because a lot of people consider this stuff crazy. But let's keep pushing forward. Going to Aberdeen, Washington. What the hell is about to do in Aberdeen, Washington?
How long have you been running the shop here?
25 years.
Wow.
So this is one of those similar to the GameStop situation when he was like, you call me ma'am. Call me man, when it clearly looked like a guy. Like I said, once again, don't play around with my brain. If you want, I'm all for you. If you consider yourself, you want to be transgender and you want to switch it, look like a woman or look like a guy. Like my brain associates feminine characteristics, breasts, full lips, long hair, curvaceousness. That's a woman to me. Femininity, dresses, makeup, shit like that. I associate that. I've been taught, my brain and most societies have accepted this. That is feminine characteristics. Forget all of the makeup and lip gloss and all that. And at one point, that guys wore skirts and all that. I always heard it was easier that people put dresses on babies, even males, because it's easier to change diapers. I understand it, how we've evolved with time, and male babies generally don't wear skirts. Like that's just not something we've been doing. It's too associated with femininity, and most importantly, it confuses the hell out of people. Specifically, it confuses children. Why would you want to confuse children? Like, these are things I feel like people aren't asking good enough questions with. Like, come on, let's keep it going. Now, this was hilarious. This shop owner was basically saying, I don't care what you identify as. I don't have to accept it. I can live and let you live, but I'm not going to confuse you with this crap. This is this might want to be, we'll see. I'll see how much demand it is for this. I might do a part 2 and 3 because I want people to actually watch this right now. And if you hit me up, inbox me on Twitter, it's TJTime1991, or retweet my link, I will send you this. I'm not going to tell you what it came from because I don't want to get the person in trouble. However, I will if you retweet this video that I'm doing right now, or if you inbox me. It's TJTime1991, and I'll put it in the video. Matter of fact, let me put it up in here. Twitter. I'll put it in the box right now. It's because I don't do stuff I'm gonna stop doing stuff for free. It's TJ Time. 1991. Boom. I'll put it there. So that's my Twitter. You can find my YouTube there, my TikTok. But yeah, this is quite interesting. Like, this is a good
incident here a little while ago that went really viral online. Lots of reaction in the public.
Aberdeen Councilwoman Tiesa Mesquias confronted owner Don Suker about a sign he posted in his store.
One day I just put the sign up over here and he came around the corner and I thought, okay, I recognize him. I says, oh, I recognize you. You're our new city councilman. He says, no, I'm your new city councilwoman. So it was kind of on from there.
You know what? It's bullshit.
No, what you're spouting is bullshit.
No, it's not. Trans women are women, sir. That sign is bullshit.
I've been doing this 25 years. I've never had a problem with anybody, whether they're gay, transsexual, anything.
Now, you're saying councilman, this individual was saying, I'm a woman.
Right.
And you said you're not a woman. How do you know that person's not a woman?
How do I know?
Yeah.
Well, common sense.
Trans women are women.
Doesn't the science say that if someone identifies as a woman, then they are?
No. Now that's completely bogus. I don't care if you think you're a sheepdog and you come into my store. It don't matter to me. Just don't come in and try to shove that shit down my throat.
If it makes someone feel better, what about their feelings?
I don't give a shit about their feelings. I'm old.
What about the Star Wars universe? Jar Jar Binks, pansexual, do you think? Transgender?
Why would I even care?
If it's his truth.
Well, it ain't true.
You're not a scientist. You're not a gender studies major, or are you?
No.
No? Okay. How do you know that you're a man?
How do I know that I'm? I guess because I got a dick.
That is hilarious. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this down now. I think I am gonna do 3 parts on this, and this is what I almost always finish a topic in one video, but y'all know I try to keep my videos short, concise. Me personally, I don't like talking on podcasts for more than an hour by myself. It gets exhausting. Sometimes I'll be wanting to go read other stuff while somebody else talk. It's just I can't talk for like more than an hour and a half by myself. It's dumb. And I like to keep my videos short, concise, straight to the point. It's probably going to take me, say we do an hour. We keep stopping. It's probably going to take me, I would say, roughly 2 more videos to get through this whole movie. It's an hour and 35 minutes. And also, out of respect, I don't want to play this whole video because I purchased this from someone and I'll send it to you. If you, like I said, if you want it, hit me up on Twitter. It's TJ Time 1991. It's TJ Time 1991. You can find it in the chat on my Twitter. If you inbox me or retweet this, I will send you the link so you can have it for free because somebody sent it to me. And I paid them, of course, just because they can get in trouble for it. And it was much cheaper than what they're at. But go check this out. Even if you just want to get a gist of it, they have it on Daily Wire right now, dailywire.com or Google Daily Wire. What is a woman? You get the first 15 minutes for free just from visiting the website. So go support them. Like I said, I salute Matt. What's his name? It's escaping me. Matt Walsh. Ben Shapiro, the whole clique for putting this together. Jordan Peterson. So actually, like that guy, the fellow, the shop owner in Aberdeen, Washington, in the last clip that they just showed, represents what a lot of not only older, but I would say more traditional males, irregardless of color or culture, what a lot of traditional men think of when they think of a lot of this gender stuff. Like they look like, why should I care about this? Like I support your right, because it's this misconception that conservatives are not accommodating. And I don't know where that comes from. That could be the furthest thing from the truth. When you really pull back the layer, of course, some of them are. Of course, it's called assholes. Assholes come in all shapes, forms, political parties, all that. Like, to me, like when you really pull back the layers, liberals are not quite accommodating. Specifically, specialized liberal groups like LGBT or like certain seniors or handicaps and certain people that feel women. I would say women, a lot of women specifically, none white ones. You know what? I lied. Black women too. They're not quite accommodating, like, or they have unreasonable demands that they only expect other people to do, but they don't have to reciprocate. Like, I feel that's kind of what happens with a lot of these situations. But yeah, that guy, I mean, he was pretty clear. Like, you're just not a woman to me if you don't appear one. Like, that is the sentiment and how a lot of people feel about this situation. That's how they feel about, like, if you want me to call your woman, look like one. This is not hard to figure out. It's not unreasonable. I was going to read tweets, but I want to save that when I have a panel on here, at least 2 other people, because I have to be able to read tweets and have them answer it, and then I'll give my opinion in between, because I don't like dead air on my podcast. It's too hard to watch. It's too hard to follow. I'm going to bow face here. Thank y'all for listening, for being open-minded. I'm going to chop up probably 5 or so minutes of this, put it on, on TikTok. Expect an opinion piece about this on TikTok either tonight or in the morning. It depends on how quick I get my housework done and all that, and how I'm feeling if I'm taking that, because I have to work in the morning. I'm not off till Monday. I have to work Sunday night too. So yeah, I love doing stuff like this. I hope y'all love listening to me talking about it. Show some love, retweet. It's TJ Time 1991 for more people that want to link up with me. I'm looking for a female co-host to talk about, like, if you're gay, trans, whatever. Like, I just need, like, I like balance on my podcast. All my co-hosts are males. I love all of them. They're going to be on here as long as they want to be on here. But it's nice to have a female. You know what I mean? So any females out there, transgender, whatever. I don't know what I just call it LGBT plus, because I forgot all the other things that's been added to it since. That's what I was introduced to it as: lesbian, trans, gay, bisexual. I think questioning. I forgot what I is, but so yeah, like, hit me up. It's CJ Time 1991 on Twitter. That's also my TikTok, but everything's centralized to my Twitter. Y'all all been great. I hope y'all having a good day. Embrace summer is coming, at least here in North America. Yeah, I mean, be awesome. Hope y'all enjoyed y'all week. Y'all go out, drink responsibly. God bless y'all families. I'll talk y'all on the next one. This is part 1. Yeah, I'll see y'all on part 2. Be looking out on my Twitter. It's CJ Time 1991 for links for the next podcast. Jason, JoJo, Omari, Victor, the whole crew. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Marissa, everybody. I need y'all to get on here and give y'all opinion about this. As Jason, some of this not even that serious. You won't know until you talk to me about it. Later. Peace. Bless y'all families.